Today we're going to tell time looking at analog clocks. After we write down the time, we're going to describe it other ways too, by saying how many minutes are after the hour and how many minutes are before the hour. So first things first, let's look at our model for time. When you write the time, you start with the hour, then you go to the minute. And the hour always comes first. It's the shorter hand, and the minute is the longer hand. You can see that because the word hour only has 4 letters, and the word minute has 6 letters. Looking at the hour on our first clock problem, it's between 3 and 4. So how do I know that it's 3? Because it hasn't gotten to the 4 yet. It's still on the 3. So I wrote 3 there. The minute hand, I wrote 40. Now how did I know that it's 40? Well, the minute hand starts at 0 and it goes all the way around the circle, just like the hour hand, except it counts by ones, up to 60 minutes. So if you just count 5 here, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, you can get 40. Or you could just do 8 times 5, 8 groups of 5, and you get 40. Now, let's move on. Let's figure out how many minutes are after the hour. We know it's after 3 o'clock, so we're going to write after 3. But we don't know how many minutes are after 3, so let's start at 0 and we'll count. We'll go all the way around there, and that's where it stops. How many minutes is that? 40. So it's 40 minutes after 3. Okay, now we're going to describe how many minutes are before the next hour. Well, what is the next hour after 3 o'clock? 4. But it's not after 4, it's before 4. How many minutes before 4 is it? Let's figure that out. Now, we could count starting from the 8 and count by ones, but I think I'm just going to go by 5s again. So when it gets to the 12, we're on the next hour. 5, 10, 15, 20. So another way of writing it would be 20 minutes before 4. Now let's try another one. Look at the time. The hour hand's pointed between the 12 and the 1, so I know it's on the 12. The minute hand is pointed just after the 6, 2 notches forward. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32. It's 12:32. That means how many minutes after 12 is it? Well, first of all, it is after 12. Start at the 0 and go all the way around. And we already figured out that it's 32 minutes after 12. How many minutes before the next hour is it? Well, what is the next hour? After 12, the next hour is 1. So it's before 1 o'clock still. And let's figure out how many minutes it is before 1 o'clock. In order to get to 1, the hour hand has to go all the way around to the 12 again. So I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3 there. And I'm going to stop here because this is my first multiple of 5. It's much easier to count by 5s all the way up than to start with 32 and count up by 5s. So I'm going to go to 35 and go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then I'm going to take my 25 and add the extra 3 right there. And 25 plus 3 is 28 minutes. Sorry, I'm running out of room there, but it is 28 minutes before 1 o'clock. Let's try the last one. Hour hand is between, it's almost on the 1. It almost looks like it's on the 1, but I know that it's not 1 o'clock yet because the minute hand hasn't reached the 12. It hasn't gone around a full circle. So it's still 12. Not 1 yet. And it is 12. It's 1 notch after the 10. So we'll count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 12:51. 12:51. We know that it's after 12, and we know that it's 51 minutes after 12, because we went all the way around with our minute hand until we got to here. What hour is it before? The hour that it's after is 12. The hour that it's before is 1. How many minutes is it before 1? That's probably the trickiest part. Again, we're going to count the minutes up to until it gets to a complete circle at the 12. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and that brings us to 11. And once we get to the 55-minute mark, this is 55 minutes, we just add an extra 5. So we've got 4 plus 5. And 4 plus 5 is 9. So we told time using an analog clock, using our model of hours and minutes. Then we figured out how many minutes after the hour it was. And then we counted up to figure out how many minutes are before the next hour.